Hello, ELED 459 students. I'm just pulling up my PowerPoint for today's lecture. So this is obviously taking the place of our Friday, January 16th face-to-face class. Our goal for this activity and discussion that we are going to take part in is to complete a close read activity, so becoming familiar with a reading strategy that is commonly used in the elementary and middle school level, understanding what text evidence is, and understanding what formative assessment is and why it's an essential part of reading instruction. So what you're going to do to accomplish these things is participate in this close read activity. And we started the close read activity actually during Wednesday on class. So if you remember, we just had a few minutes to do our first read, which was a read to get the gist of the article. And so you guys took some time to take some notes about what the gist of this formative assessment article was. Today, you're going to be participating in the second read and the third read. So I would recommend during the second read, you're doing some rereading and annotating, taking some notes about the focus questions, which I will share with you in just a minute. And then during the third read, you'll be searching for text evidence to support your ideas about some questions that I have posed about the text. So let's just talk briefly about why we have students do a close read. What it really is a thoughtful and critical analysis of a text that focuses on a significant detail or patterns in order to develop deep, precise understanding of text craft, form, meanings, etc. And truly, it is also a key requirement of the Common Core standards, as one of the components of close reads is to look for textual evidence. So you can use short passages for close reads. You can dive right into the text with limited pre-reading activities because of close reading. It really is focusing on the text itself, and it means reading for a purpose or deliberate reading. And really reading with a pencil is an essential part of a close read because you're really searching for meaning and ideas that are important within the text. And a close read can also help with class discussion, which we will work on when you guys come back to class the following Wednesday. So from your gist of your first reading of formative assessment, simply no additives, we talked about, or you noticed perhaps that the text is going to talk about assessment, which is an appraisal of student performance. It's going to talk about formative assessment, which it means knowing what your students' specific needs are. And it's going to talk about how formative assessment is used to inform your instruction. So it's not truly formative unless you make an instructional decision based on that assessment. It can include self-assessment. There are steps to it. It's been around for a while, and teachers and students work together to improve the learning process when you use formative assessment. So that's step one, which you completed in class on Monday. Your task then is to complete the second and third readings and answer the close reading questions and prompts on the document in D2L. And this assignment will be due by Wednesday, January 21st at 11 o'clock, which is really when class starts. So your prompts for the second reading, it's asking you to focus on the craft and structure of the text. So I found a quote that was fairly meaningful from the text. It says, formative assessment is a gap minder because it helps the teacher stay alert to gaps in individual students' reading development and to adjust instruction. So this quote is essentially saying that when you use formative assessment, it helps you to close gaps with students. So if they have a gap in their understanding, you can know that and then take steps to remedy that. So what I'm asking you to do is connect this statement to other portions of the article, or essentially find examples from the article that support or explain how this is done. So that's what you're going to work on for your second read of the text. And then the third read of the text is to focus on what the text means and how it connects to other experiences. So there are two questions that you will answer and then support those ideas with textual evidence with this third read. And so why is formative assessment an essential part of literacy instruction? And what makes assessment formative instead of summative? How can formative assessment fit into the day-to-day classroom instruction? So you're going to go back and answer these two questions, and then support your answers with evidence or details from the text. One of the things to remember with these first, second, and third reads, you know, I think the second read is when you read the text in its entirety, and then once you have it marked up, you have it highlighted, that's when you go back and pick and choose parts for you to read to gain further information about it. So when I think of a close read, yes, I'm reading the text 3 times, but I, especially once I get to the third read, start to pick and choose what I'm reading for my own purposes and understanding. So that's the end of my slideshow. I just wanted to show you real quick what was going on D2L, although I'm sure that you have seen it already. Here is the assignment document, so go ahead and just answer those questions on the document. And then the Dropbox is up and ready to go. So you can just turn this assignment in by January 21st. So please let me know if you have any questions. I will be reachable via email, and or you can feel free to text me if you have some immediate need or question about the assignment. Otherwise, I will see you next week on Wednesday. So you guys have a great extended weekend. Bye.